right, so I'm gonna need you to be honest. How many tabs do you have open right now? And are they so small that if you switch between them, you actually risk closing one of them? Let's turn chaos into clarity, one tab at a time. Honestly, these days, we're all basically digital jugglers with how many softwares and platforms that we switch between. I mean, think back to the last time you were working on a major project and you had all the tabs open that you needed to, and you accidentally thought you closed the wrong one, possibly losing hours of meticulous work. I mean, it's literally a heart-stopping moment. It just got me thinking about whether or not we actually have streamlined our digital workflows. The risk we run with our work when you juggle between too many platforms is inefficiency or even errors. I know it's a challenge many of us face daily, but it begs the question, shouldn't our platforms be empowering us and not overwhelming us? Hang out with me today so we can find the key to simplifying our digital lives, not to mention maximizing productivity. Fact of the matter is, at some point or another, the alignment between your IT setup and your business goals and objectives are going to become misaligned. It's inevitable with businesses that grow. Now, if you never grow, you never have to worry about it. However, as companies grow, making sure that your IT setup and strategies aligning properly with your business goals and objectives becomes a little complex, because when a business starts, it usually starts as one person. When a business grows, it grows into a team of people. And so all of these folks have to work together to accomplish the same goal. And how does that happen? Through your technical infrastructure, through your IT setup, through how your business actually functions digitally. And the problem is, what usually happens is as your business grows, it becomes disjointed, meaning that you have this platform over here doing your marketing, and you have this platform over here managing your sales, and you have that platform over there managing your customer service, and this platform over there managing your finance. And the problem is, all of these different platforms, while all working toward a business goal, they're not in alignment with each other. And the problem is, what'll happen is what once worked well will all of a sudden feel really chaotic. And unfortunately, all that's going to produce is missed opportunities and wasted resources. So let's talk today about how we can bridge that gap. If you have ever felt misaligned with your business's technology, then stick around for the fact is that growing companies, as I said, with all those different platforms all over the place, that's what happens. It's inevitable. And so unless you've actually taken the time to not only integrate those platforms, but actually create a business blueprint that shows how those platforms are integrated, then you're always going to be bottlenecked every time your company grows. Because when your company expands, you're not going to know which part of your business is suffering from the growth. And the reality is, if you want to get your stakeholders bought into how your business functions, there is no better way than to be able to show them on a blueprint map, this is where we're struggling and this is how we're going to fix it, because here, it's right here. Look. And the problem with the disjointed approach is that everybody's not operating off of your most recent and most valuable information. If you're going to invest in all those platforms, you may as well invest in making sure that they're all functioning at peak performance. Otherwise, you're ultimately wasting your money just running around to all these different softwares. Having an enterprise architecture framework gives you a holistic view of what your business is doing, where it's doing it, and then why it's doing it. Because if you don't know those three questions, the answer to those three questions, there is a chance that your business is actually losing out on time, money, and resources because there's a process going on that you don't know is not serving your business anymore, or it's not serving your business to the best of its ability. And this is the pitfall with having siloed software strategies. This is the problem with having disjointed softwares operating on their own, doing their own thing. Eventually, they all have to talk to each other, and that's when you need to make sure your IT setup is aligned with your business goals. The misalignment of those different softwares is the chance that you're going to be making the wrong decision, and it's not even your fault because you don't know it's the wrong decision. You're making the best decision you can, but that ultimately would still be the wrong decision because you're not operating from the most recent data and information, which is why developing that enterprise architecture framework is going to save your butt at the end of the day, because you're going to know exactly where your data is coming from. You're going to know exactly how often it's updated, And when you make those key business-driven decisions, you're gonna know you're operating from your most recent and valuable data. As a bonus, this also fosters collaboration between your departments. Now, I have seen this play out firsthand in the sense of I worked with a sales team for many years, and the finance team wanted to change the sales team's process. So they came and grabbed me for a meeting and wanted me to change the sales team's process. And that ended up with me in a meeting with the COO where he was like, "Why are you trying to change the process?" I'm like, "I'm not trying to change the process. The finance team is the one who wanted me to do anything. I thought it was weird I was there in the first place. Like, I'm just the consultant. I'm not in charge of this circus." But that's the problem when you have silos of information. They end up being more competitive than collaborative, and that can be a huge problem. The other thing that can happen is you create reactive management instead of strategic management. Because if you're operating in data silos and you have all these different platforms operating individually, then you're ultimately not making decisions based on the most accurate and cohesive information. Now, not to say your decision couldn't end up being the right one, but it would be lucky at that point because you're running a risk if you're making decisions based off of not the whole picture of data, that it's not going to be the right one. It's not going to serve your business the way it needs to. Which reminds me of a quote from the US military, which is, "Slow is smooth and smooth is fast." And I've always really liked that as it relates to technology infrastructure, because the problem is everybody, when they would come to me asking for consulting, they would say, "Oh, we want to automate this thing." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool. Like, do you have a functional manual process for that?" And they're like, "No." I'm like, "Well, we can't automate something that you don't have worked out." Like, we can't automate things that you're not doing functionally and effectively on a regular basis, because automation needs to take into account every possible iteration of whatever process that somebody's trying to do. So the only way to avoid your siloed data sets while making better, more effective decisions that are not reactive but strategic, by aligning your IT setup with your business objectives, you're going to be able to create an enterprise architecture that actually suits your business needs and meets the unique requirements of whatever business that you're in. So if you are ready to be more efficient, effective, and operationally sound, then you have no choice. This is your next step. But don't worry, you don't have to do that alone. So did you know in a study done by HubSpot in 2020 that 90% of customers believe that companies need to do better at onboarding new clients? So if you're a coach, consultant, or agency owner, then listen up, because the next 2 minutes could completely transform your business and its future. Content nowadays is so focused on lead generation and sales funnels, which, don't get me wrong, are really important for your business. However, they are not the most important thing for your business, because onboarding is not just getting somebody to agree to give you money. It's the real first impression that you're giving to your client about what it's like to work with you. So think about it. What does your current onboarding process say about your business? What does it say about what it's like to work with you? And how much confidence would your new client have in being able to get the results that you've been promising them through your current onboarding process? Now, don't just take my word for it. There have been countless additional studies done by a lot of softwares that many of you probably use, and they found about improving their onboarding process. Zendesk found a 20% increase in customer satisfaction by improving their onboarding process. HubSpot found 50% faster adoption rates by improving their onboarding process. Dropbox has seen a 50% reduction in client churn by improving their onboarding process. Slack saw a user retention increase by 40% because of their improved onboarding process. Intercom saw a 25% increase in user engagement because of their improved onboarding process. Canva saw active user rates increase by 35% because of their new onboarding process. And Asana saw a 20% increase in adoption and usage rates by their new onboarding process. Now, an onboarding process is really not just about what your business does and the first impression that you give to your client. It is also about what software you choose to support that business process. And furthermore, making sure you're maximizing your usage of that software to really get the bang for your buck for your business. And for the record, this is not me telling you what software you should be using. This is just about making sure you have the right software in place to support whatever onboarding process you're going to design. Frankly, if I could solve all of your business architecture needs in 10 or 15 minutes, then YouTube wouldn't exist, consultants wouldn't exist, online courses wouldn't exist, none of it would be necessary, and I never would have spent 18-hour days as a business consultant helping my clients optimize their usage of Salesforce and every other platform they used. So if you are tired of trying to navigate through your business's technical processes without a clear roadmap, then I'm introducing to you the Pimp My Process workshop. More profit through efficiency in just 2 days. So this is an intensive workshop where we are going to take your business from just being reactive to being strategic, and we're going to start with your onboarding process. You're going to walk away with an actual business blueprint that aligns your IT technical strategy with your business objectives to improve customer satisfaction and therefore retention. So don't miss out on this opportunity to revolutionize your onboarding process through the Pimp My Process workshop and take charge of your business's future. So if you are ready to start turning your new clients into raving fans from your first impression, then find out more at the link below, and you can find out the agenda for the 2 days and everything that you can expect from this workshop. See you there.